Hey guys, this is Stu from Stuart Scale Models, and this is going to be a build that well, I'd announced it some time ago. I was going to do a sort of a tribute build to my dad, because it'll be 10 years this August since he passed away. So I thought it'd be rather fitting if I built what was his favourite aircraft, which was the Hawker Hunter, and as we all know, it's such an iconic classic fighter. Beautiful looking aircraft, and I've seen many of them fly, but sadly there aren't any flying in this country at the moment because of the new air show rules ever since the tragic crash, which I think was just about a couple of years ago. And a lot of them are being sold off, sadly, and there isn't anybody really qualified to fly it now, which is a shame. Because I just miss hearing that sort of high-pitched roar that you get when they used to sort of comes so gracefully through the sky. And I remember many of these actually flying around Guildford out of Farnborough when they had their research lab there for the RAE. And I think the last one I saw was at Wings and Wheels, which was around about a couple of years ago now, with the sort of yellow nose going into a sort of a starscape on the Hunter. That was a beautiful looking Hunter. But I hope it's not too long before we see this graceful and such a beautiful iconic aircraft in the skies again on the display circuit, because it is very much missed. So we shall see. Anyway, this kit I actually snapped up on eBay. I think it was about a year ago. I think it is the actual Reboxed Academy kit, and I've actually got some extras to go in with the build, and I'll be starting this in the next few weeks. And partly the reason I'm doing this video again is because, funnily enough, I thought I was meant to be at work today, only to walk in and discover that it was my day off. And that's not the first time I've done that, I can tell you. So I certainly gave my manager who's just come back from her holiday a good little chuckle. So anyway, hence why I'm doing this video today. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get any modelling done today because I'm at that stage where I need certain tools and I don't have them. So all my builds are on hold until next week. So I thought, well, while I've got the time, I'll do this. So this is going to be a reboot of the in-box review of this particular kit. As I say, Academy have re-released it. They do it in the, I think the Valley scheme, you know, the red, white and blue scheme, which would be a lovely colour scheme to do this in. But I'm not going to do it in that. I'm going to do it in the one that's on the box, which is, I think, of 74 Squadron, around about the 1974 era. I think it's 74. Let me have a look at the bottom top of the box here. No, it's 45 Squadron. I stand corrected. It's 45 Squadron, as it was then based. But as I say, with this kit, it is a beautiful looking kit. It is the Reboxed Academy version. Level of detail on it is superb, and as I say, you can do it in 2 RF versions and other countries as well. So if you can get hold of this, you know it's worth having in your stash. And the kit number on this one is 2708. That's 2708. Okay. And on the side, you've got a little bit of history on the aircraft. That's your decal sheet, which you've got a mass of there. And then there's the various colour call outs that you can do. You can do 6 versions of this aircraft, one in the 50s and then obviously another one in 1974. And then you've got a Swiss version and one of the Singapore Air Force, a Dutch aircraft, as well as I think the Indian Air Force as well. So I think they were the last to use it in frontline use. So first off, as I normally do, we'll go through the instruction sheet which you have here. Again, you've got a history of the aircraft, which you can see there. It's for age group 14 plus. Counts me out. So I'm only joking. Inside you've got the sprue tree of all the aircraft parts, as you can see here, and then obviously you've got your guide symbols here, like don't chew it, don't swallow it, don't cut it, and certainly don't eat it. And then obviously you've got the sprue tree for all the weapons load there. Colour callouts are in FS numbers and itinerary numbers as well. First stage of the construction is obviously the actual cockpit seat. I won't be using that. I'm going to be using an aftermarket seat, a resin seat, but I'll run through that presently. And it's just showing you to put the ejection hooks on the back headrest. And there's the colour guide for the ejection seat. Then you've got the head-up display, and then the colour call out for the control panel. Then obviously you assemble the gear stick in, the seat goes in, you've got the two pedals there, column goes in along with the HUD on the top. Okay, and that's your colour call out for the cockpit. Okay, and they reckon there's a decal that goes on there as well. That's interesting. And then obviously you've got the assembly of the air intakes, which you see up here. Okay, all together, and that's just telling you how it should all line up. And then obviously you've got the assembly of the cockpit tub, which goes onto the right hand side of the fuselage. You've got the exhaust nozzle, which goes in. Then the air intakes, button up the fuselage, and then once that's done you put the weight in, interestingly, where the ammunition block is and where the main gear bay is at the back there. And obviously you've got the choice of two weights. That's interesting. Okay, so you got slight variation in whichever version you're doing for the nose. So, interesting. And then you've got the back of the air intake, which goes onto the aircraft, obviously dependent on which version you're doing. Obviously I'm going to be doing this version. Then you've got the assembly of the actual wings and the undercarriage bay, but again, as I say, I've got an accessory set for that, which is a little bit more detailed, and it's indicating where you need to put the holes for the weapon pylons, okay, on either wing. And next up, the assembly of the rudder, and then you've got the assembly of the tail planes, and then you put the wings on, the tail planes on, as well as the rudder. And there's a little instruction here to cut off some of the ribs for the elevators, which go on the wings here. Okay, and I take it could be whichever version you're picking, so you've got a variation on those as well. Okay, then if you want it, you got the air brake open if you should wish, or you could have it closed. A few oddments go on there. And these are the cannon bays which go on, which is a distinctive thing for the Hunter. The assembly of the nose wheel, that goes into the front undercarriage bay along with the external doors. Again, then you've got the main undercarriage bay which goes into the wing. It's assembled, and then that all goes in with the gear bay doors, etc. And then obviously you've got the assembly of the cockpit canopy as well. Wing fences go on, and the pitot tube. Assembly of the actual aircraft fuel tanks, and then the decal placement there. Bombs, and Aiden cannon, and rocket rails, depending on which version you're doing. Okay. And then you put your weapons pylons onto the wings, as indicated for whichever version you're doing, or the rockets, whichever. There's the placement of the actual wing tank there and there, and as I say, this is for whichever alternative armament you're going to put on your kit. Okay, next up is the colour callouts, the colour variations. This is the one I'm going to be doing, which is an F Mark 9 of number 45 Squadron, which was based at Wittering in 1974. Okay, again, you got the placement for the decals on the gear bay doors, Underneath you've got over God, I'm getting tongue tied now. Up the top you've got the dark sea grey and dark green, and then obviously the light aircraft grey underneath, which was period to that one. Second version, which you could do, which is a more classic one for a frontline unit, is for an F-Mark 6 of 56 Squadron, based at Watersham in 1959. Unlike that one, the underneath is all silver, okay, or aluminium. Then you've got the Royal Dutch Air Force F-Mark 6, 352nd Squadron, Soesterberg, 1962. Another one which is of the Swiss Air Force F-Mark 58, 45th Squadron, Payan, 1973. And also you've got the Indian Air Force F-Mark 56, 14 Squadron, Bulls, Calacutta, 1963. And finally you've got the Singapore Air Force F-Mark 74, 444 Squadron, 1991. Okay, so that's that. Right, we get on to the crux of the matter. The sprues, they all come in one bag, although they're individually bagged, which is not a bad thing. First off, and I think I will take this out. I wasn't going to, but I will. Where did I put my scissors? Oh, I'll leave it in there. Sorry about the car alarm. Bear with me. These things always happen when you're trying to do a video. Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, bar the car alarm. If I can get this sticker out of the way. I do wish somebody would turn that car alarm off. That's it, they're done. I think they must have heard me. No, it's not going to come out. Right, I think I'll have to take this out of the bag. Now, where did I put those scissors? Ah, I know, I'll use a scalpel. Okay. So you can get a better look at this. Beautiful clear canopy, as you can see here, nice crisp lines, so that's easy for masking. In fact, I have actually got an Edward masking set for that, so that's going to be nice and easy. Head-up display, which you can see here, and then obviously you've got your two wing lights, either side, port and starboard. Okay, put that back in its bag so it doesn't get damaged or scratched. First off, get one out of the bag. Top and bottom of the wings, again nicely crisply moulded, nice panel line detail as you can see there, beautifully caught. That will come up lovely with a wash, and even more essentially on the bottom as well. I don't know if you can see that, guys, with all the panel lines. That is beautifully cast, absolutely gorgeous. So that's nice. Then you've got the fuselage halves, which you can see here. Again, lovely detail on that, nice and crisp. Again, will come up well with a wash and a little bit of weathering. More essentially on the tail as well, which you can see here. Beautifully done. Interior details very sparse, but again I've got an interior detail cockpit set which I will show you presently. Put that one back in the bag. Down there. Next screw, you got your weapons and some of your undercarriage. Got your Aiden cannon there. Again, nice level of detail there for the Aiden cannon. And your wheels, again, I'm not going to use those, I've got some aftermarket for those. Rockets with rails with rockets on them. Your underwing tanks. Again, nice level of detail on them with the old panel lines. your bomb, various parts of the undercarriage there, and your weapon pylon. Again, nice level of detail on there, nice panel line detail, and then you got the tail for your bombs. Okay, so I'll go back in the bag. And then the final 2 sprues, because you get about, I think, 6 all told together. You got the internal detail for the undercarriage wheelbase in the wings. Not bad, but I do have an aftermarket set which is a little bit better. Nose with the little central cannon on it. Again, you got one of 2 versions on this. Tail planes, nice level of detail on there again, as you can see. And then you got the undercarriage units here. Not bad, I have to say, not bad at all. And gear bay doors, as you can see here. Nice level of detail, except for these blessed injector pin marks. Now, they're going to be a pig. Probably just fill them in. Be very careful when you're sanding them though. And you've got, unfortunately, injector pin marks. It won't matter with these because you won't see them. Again, unfortunately, in the air inlets, you've got injector pin marks here, so you will have to sand them because they will get noticed, obviously. And again, on here, unfortunately, you've got injector pin marks. Pain in the butt, but there you go. And then obviously you've got the 2 sides of the actual pilot seat here, and unfortunately, again, you've got injector pin marks, which is not good. And then on here you got the cockpit tub. Again, nice level of detail there, but obviously if you get an aftermarket set, that will be sanded down, etc. You've got your sides of your actual pilot seat. Again, nice level of detail on that, I have to say. Very impressed with that. And then you've got the nose wheel bay there, along with the Yagen cannon. Okay. Then you've got your fan blade for your Rolls-Royce Avon engine. Nice level of detail on that. And also on the instrument panel, very nicely moulded there as well. That will come up very nicely with the dry brush, etc. Yeah, that's your main nose, that's your nose wheel. And then obviously you've got your ejection handle right there. But again, I won't be using that, I'll be using an aftermarket seat. Weapons pylons. Again, air inlets, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to sand those injection marks. They're right on the edge, which is a pain. And then you've got your air brake, and unfortunately again you've got injector pin marks right in there and right in there. That's going to be a real pain in the butt to get rid of if you're going to have the air brake down. Okay, what else? I've got the jet pipe right here. Don't know if you can see anything inside, but well, it won't matter anyway. And then you've got your internal part of the elevators, which is nice set of detail on that. Just notice that's got an injector pin mark right there. You don't really need that. That's going to be a pain in the butt as well, and it's on both of them. Oops. And also on the air inlet as well. Mind you, this won't matter because with the nose with the jet pipe, that ain't going to notice, so it's not really going to matter on that one. And then obviously parts of the undercarriage here, etc. Yeah, not bad. And as I say, the mouldings on this aren't bad actually, except for those injector pin marks. Some of them are in a real pain in the arse place to be seen. So when you sand them down or fill them, you're going to have to be extremely careful. But as I say, I did actually get a few little extra goodies in this one. Pop that back in there. And then you've got your decal sheet. I've got a feeling these may be, well, I say it's a Larry, but I've got a feeling it may be cartograph. You've got all your stencils on there, which is going to keep you busy. And I think there is a stencil guide in the instruction sheet on this as well. Probably missed that. And then you've got your various aircraft markings, RAF, both versions, the 59 one and the 74 version there. Nice colouring. Probably bed down pretty well, I should imagine. Then you've got your Dutch aircraft, your Indian Air Force, and then your Singapore Air Force right there. So yeah, be interesting. And then you obviously got your Swiss version there as well. So yeah, that should come down. They should bed down pretty well actually. Now, as regards Aftermarket, I bought this little set here from SBS. I got this one online on eBay. It comes with a cockpit tub, resin wheels, you've got a resin seats, internal framework for the undercarriage bay and the wing, and some etched brass. So we'll have a quick look at it. And it is designed for the Academy kit, which is this is a reboxing of. So let's have a look at some of the parts on this. So bear with me, because it's a resealable bag, which is a good idea. You don't want to lose these parts. Right, let's get them out. That's your etched brass parts, as you can see there. I'll get it more clearly seen. So that will help with the detail. You've got a control panel there. You got the rings for the ejection pull handles, etc. So yeah, that'll come in very, very handy. And here is the internal framework for the wing, which I was telling you the detail of it. Look at that, isn't that stunning? Absolutely stunning. Really nice detail on that. So that really will accentuate the kit. And then you got the cockpit tub, which is nicely done as well. So that will be replacing the one they got with the kit. Nice level of detail on that again. Very nicely done. And this is the cockpit seat. Get it there. Look at all the pipes, etc. It's beautifully reproduced. So that will look excellent in the cockpit. That really will. Nicely detailed. Nicely moulded and cast. And then obviously you've got a control column here, which you see. You can see that. Hang on, if I get it nearer to the camera, you might be able to see that. It's more authentic as well, as you can see. Beautifully done. And other levers for the cockpit as well, which you can see here. Okay, guys. There we are. And obviously you've also got the wheels, which are flat spotted, so that will give you the sort of accentuation of weight on the aircraft. But I am surprised they haven't actually done the front nose wheel, so I may have to just work on that one. And then there's the other side, the internal part of the gear bay. Beautifully done. So there you go. That is that. Yes. So yes, that's going to look nice. Then obviously is the control panel itself, which the etched brass goes on. So that's quite nicely detailed too, even with a head-up display. So there you go. It's more accurate. So that I'll be using to add to the kit itself, which will accentuate the detail more. And you've got some sidewall detail as well. Oops, if I can get it into shot. There you go. So that will look good for the cockpit. So I'll just get them all back in there so they don't get lost. There we are. So, and also I've got an Edward mast set for the canopy, so that will look even better. So all in all, this should be a very enjoyable project to build. When it's going to get done, I don't know. Hopefully before the year's out. Not by the 19th, which is the date that it will be obviously 10 years since my dad died, and this is the instruction sheet which comes with it as well. And obviously you can see where everything goes, so there you go. Okay, and where everything fits on the kit. You've even got a panel there with a mirror for the cockpit, so that is going to look excellent, absolutely excellent. So that is it, guys. That is going to be my tribute to my father, Colin Avery, who was an avid aircraft modeller. This was his favourite aircraft. In fact, he was lucky enough as a young boy to see the prototype, the duck egg blue prototype WB-188 fly at Farnborough as well. As I say, Academy have reissued this kit. This one I snapped up on eBay before I knew about that. So when I saw it, I thought, oh damn. But I'm sure this is going to build into a beautiful kit. Can't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was around about, hang on, let me think, about £23 I ended up bidding on this for, and got it. So I didn't do too bad. I think postage was about £5 or something. But it is a lovely, lovely kit, and with the accentuated detail on this, it will be a fine tribute to my dad, and I'm sure he'll like it. I am thinking of doing it on the base as well, so it's on the flight apron, and I'm going to see if I can find a crew ladder to go with it. I'm sure we'll do one. So that is it. That's my inbox and intro to my Colin Avery Hawker Hunter tribute build, and I'll be starting that in the next few weeks. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.